Hey again. Today I want to talk about time, and I want to talk about the idea of it that it can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and it all depends on how you spend it. And this is something that I was writing in my journal about today, um, because there's a concept that I think of. It's a lot easier to think of when you're going through something hard than when things are going well. Um, and everybody always says time flies by when you're having fun, when you're in a good spot. Time goes by or seems to go by faster. Of course, in thinking in a logical sense, we know that time is always passing by at the same pace. Um, and but I do think there is truth to that. In time feeling as it goes slower when we're in harder spots and faster when we're in easier spots. Um, but overall, I think it's best to, even if things are going well, to think of the time will pass anyway. Um, which sounds dark when you think of it in a positive sense of, if I'm going through something good, I don't really want to think that the time is going to be passing anyway, because I want to live in the moment. I want to be present for this good thing that is happening to me. But I think it's thinking in that way when you're in a positive time, reminds you that it depends on how you spend it, and that you can continue to have um, this positive thing going on with how you spend your time. If you spend your time dwelling on negative things, or you surround yourself with negative people, or you're not focusing on what you're supposed to be focusing on, then of course the time is going to feel slower, and it's going to feel harder. It's going to be going at the same pace, but it's going to feel harder. But I think this is a great mindset or a great thing to think about, especially when we're going through things that are difficult. Um, and knowing that no matter what, time is going to pass at the same pace. Things are going to change in the exact same way the next time something good comes, and the next time that something bad comes. And it's easy to forget how we got to that good thing in the first place when we lose it. Um, and you think that, man, I'm never going to get back to where that was. But the time is going to pass anyway. So, get back onto your feet, get back to what you were doing before, so you can try to get back there again. Of course, you can never go back to exactly how things were at a specific time, but you can piece it together and retain aspects of that good thing and apply it to the next thing. And so for me personally, thinking about this with school and with future career things, with people, with relationships, it's easy to forget that time is passing for everybody. You can see other people and you might be jealous of them. I know I have been, of where certain people are in their lives, and it seems like it's going so well for them. But they feel that same pressure of time. They feel the same. They feel the seconds go by just like you do. And we all have those times where we feel helpless because time feels like it is either going too fast or it's moving too slow because we're stuck in something bad. But time is a neutral thing. Time isn't good or bad. Time doesn't have its own will. Time isn't aware of you. Um, Time is its own thing. And you can get into theories about how the human mind perceives time in with relation to emotions and to states and consciousness, all that stuff. You go really, really deep into it. But I think at the core of everything, it's important to just remind yourself that it's going to keep moving. The world keeps moving. And you're going to keep moving with it, whether you want to or not. And so it's the choice of accepting that, or trying to force your will onto the world, onto time itself. And so this is something really that I'm trying to internalize, because when you lose something that you were so fond of, or that you have fond memories with, and those memories come back up, and it reminds you of those better times, it's easy to think, man, the good times are behind me now. But there's this great clip of Steve Harvey. I don't remember what the episode is or what show it was on, but he said, and it was like a quick line. I'm not sure who he was speaking to, but he said, "Your good life is not behind you; it's in front of you." And I think that this goes hand in hand with the idea that I'm trying to get at, of the time is going to pass anyway, so you use it and live in it, because good things are coming. And I want to also speak on something, a concept that I heard in a Pursuit of Wonder video 4 or 5 years ago. And Robert Pantano, love that guy. All of their content is just incredible. I've read 3 of his books, very, very good. Highly recommend that. Anyway, in one of their earlier videos, he had said that life is like a series of inhales and exhales, both in a literal sense, but also in a very figurative sense. And in a literal sense, in that we all, everybody's breathing. Life is literally a series of inhales and exhales. But in a figurative sense, you can think of all the hard things or all of the work as the inhale. And so if you take a deep breath right now, and you just go all the way in, you feel that you can feel the tension. Like you can feel that you want to let you want to let that air out. You want to exhale. And the release of that is when, like, your nerves calm down. I mean, taking a deep breath when you're stressed out is, one of the best things to, help with that. But so that idea, applying that to life, think about where you are right now. Are you on an inhale or are you on an exhale? And do you have a choice of making it? And, like, are you the one who's holding back that, or holding on to the pressure? And is it something that you need to change that's going to allow your life to just exhale? And if it's not something that you control, how can you then you also have to think of it as, you have to breathe in, you have to get oxygen in. So there are going to be times where you don't have control, and that inhale is always necessary. Even though it builds up all of that tension, and you feel like, I can't hold in anymore. If you have control to trigger that exhale, do it. Figure out how to do that. Whether it's, getting away from certain people, whether it's getting out of a certain job, whether it's changing majors, or, changing up what your day-to-day schedule is that going to allow you to have a little bit of an exhale? And I think the final thing to think on with this topic is just patience, and to think of it, think of, like, all of life as a breathing exercise, as a meditation. That when people are doing breathing exercises and they're meditating, they're breathing very slowly, and it's a very rhythmic, methodical thing, and it brings a lot of peace. It brings a lot of relaxation of the entire body, of the mind. And so at least try to format your way of thought or your life, if you can, in a way that is rhythmic and methodical, that is in line with this idea of it always being a series of inhales and exhales. So that's what I've been thinking about today. And went on a walk earlier, wrote a little bit about that in my journal after I had class. Didn't do a whole lot today. Just had the first class, and then I worked on a lab for a few hours. But overall, it was pretty good. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think of that, and if there's anything in your life that you feel is waiting for that exhale. What can you do to allow it to happen? Or how can you be that exhale for somebody else? So yeah, something to think about. I'll see you guys in the next one.